Yeah, let's talk about communication in business and organization. Now, you might ask, why do you need to know communication in business and organization? You are education students. Well, this topic is not just for business people or um, business versions. It is also useful for everyone. No, so we need to know how to properly communicate because we will become a member of whatever organization we wish to in the future. Okay, so what is business correspondence? When you hear the word business correspondence, what comes first to your mind? So correspondence unsa man na siya? Okay. So business correspondence is any type of electronic, printed, or handwritten communication that conveys business, commercial, or industrial message to achieve a specific purpose. Now, take note of the word specific. No? So, kinahanglan, diba, in technical writing, we have to have a specific purpose as to why we send communication. Okay, so it may be used in private business, in academic institutions like the College of Maasin, whether it is an internal communication or external communication. Then government offices in other organizations that aim to communicate message to a specific purpose or rather a specific audience. Now take note of the word specific audience. No? So dapat, 'di ba, again in technical writing, dapat naa kay audience and it should be specific. Dili pwede nga magpadakag letter nga moingon ra ka to whom it may concern. Okay, so mura ba na kasagaran? I have an experience, someone who applied here no sa College of Maasin, nag-apply siya as teacher. Nagbutang siya dito to whom it may concern. So pwede ba na? Dili. Wrong kayo na siya. Okay. So business correspondence serves several functions. Okay, first, to maintain harmonious relationship and goodwill. It serves as evidence or proof of communication. It helps one showcase his or her communication and problem solving skills. It directs people to act for a specific purpose. Now, take note, class, that effective communication is the key to success in business. No? So that is why business depends so much in communication. People communicate or people must communicate to plan products. Okay, so this is with regards to business. To hire, to train and motivate workers, to coordinate manufacturing and delivery. So that is if your business is or you are into manufacturing. And then, of course, to persuade customers to buy your product. And of course, to bill them for sale. So, billing class is an example of a technical writing or a business correspondence. Now, uh, when we talk of serves as evidence or proof of communication, so that is the reason why when we send a letter or a communication or a correspondence, dapat ikaw sender na kay imong copy. Also, kawas kong love letter na siya, of course. I don't know if kamo suat mo love letter na magbiling mo inyong copy, yung photocopy. But in business correspondence or in technical writing, no? So ang sender dapat naa siya iyahang copy because it will serve as evidence or proof that indeed you send such communication. Okay, so take note of that. Now, business communication is the sharing of information between people within an organization that is performed for a commercial benefit of the organization. take note that it differ from other types of communication, not by its means of communicating, but by its objective. So, mo to tong gingon na naa siya dapat specific purpose. Okay, so why is it important to know business correspondence? As mentioned earlier, you will become a member of any organization one day, one of these days, or in the future. And another thing is that in the professional world, communication and related skills decide a person's career curve. So, the better the communication skills, the higher are the chances of touching the zenith of success. So, the global or the new global and diverse workplace requires excellent spoken and written communication skills. So, mo na siya mga soft skills ninyo. No? So that's the reason why it's important that, for example, during the interview, dapat ma-ace na ninyo. Kay ang interview pa lang daan, hagbong na mo, dili na ninyo ma-show how um, well you are in communication skills, then most likely dili mo anak ma-hire. Okay? Now, relationship between business and communication. Okay, so it says here, take care of communication and success shall take care of itself. So, muna, again, it is very important for you to know and for you to have communication skills. Okay, so business is not possible without communication. Walay business kung walay communication. It is the backbone of every business. Without effective communication of information, a business will struggle with a lack of understanding, motivation, and direction. Okay. So, ano siya yung mga relationship between business and communication? Everyone remains united. Okay, kaya mag-communicate man na ay feedback. Okay, it improves customer relationship. It improves employee relationship. It enforces rules. Okay, so apil man na sa communication kanang atong rules and regulations or kanang standard operating procedures in an organization. Then it enhance innovation. It increase efficiency. Kay nag-talk mo or ay proper communication. Then it serves as lubricant that keep organization functioning. Try to imagine what will happen to a certain organization na dili mag-istoryahanay ang member. Okay, so wala mahita po. Then it serves as means of social interaction with stakeholders. So, dili lang, this is not just about internal communication. It also talks about external communication because it says here it serves as means of social interaction with stakeholders. So, imong mga customers, imong mga clients, kana sila. Okay. So, iba naman ta sa components of communication mo. So, we have sender, and of course, it's the sender who has the responsibility to encode the message. Okay, so we have message, unsay channel nga gigamit, no? Is it written, oral, or verbal? Then we know for a fact that it is the responsibility of the receiver to decode the message, meaning to interpret the message. Okay, so uh, appeal sa component of communication is ang feedback. Okay, so from receiver to sender. So this is the moment that your receiver, okay, so kung maghatag kag feedback, your receiver becomes your sender, of course. So siya na pod ang mag-encode sa feedback. And then the sender becomes the receiver. Siya na pod ang mo decode kung unsay feedback. No? So, and then another component is of course the interference or the noise or katong mga barriers of communication. So if ma-matter ana kung unsay channel nga inyong gigamit, sa communication mode nga inyong gigamit, no? Kung internet connection, rather it's email baka ha, so unsa may possible nga interference, no? Kung letter, like if it is an external communication, unsa may possible nga interference o posible wala moabot sa send receiver rather ang letter tungod kay gibutang ra sa table, then usa ni natabunan, things like that. Usa na siya nga dapat nato i-consider. Okay, so ano siya? Ang components. Sender or encoder. Okay, so message. It is the key idea that the sender wants to communicate. So we know for a fact that the message is the essential element, no, in communication, because if there is no message, what's the purpose of you sending a communication? Di ba wala? Okay, so mana siya. Then encoding, so it is a process of conversion of subject matter into symbols. Say, nagsuwat, or imo ba kang i-record if it is an audio communication. And then the medium, okay, so or the channel where it is the means used to exchange or transmit the message. So as mentioned ganina, if it is an email or kung i-write siya, hard copy, okay, so kana. Then the recipient or the receiver, okay, so that is the decoder. Now, again, it is the recipient or the receiver who has the responsibility to decode the message. Okay, so what is decoding? It is the process of translation of an encoded message into ordinary understandable language. And then, of course, we have feedback. It helps the sender in confirming the correct interpretation of message by the decoder. Now, in business communication, di ba, in other form of communication, possible nga walay feedback mahitabo, right? But in business communication or in business correspondence, is it possible that there is no feedback at all? Okay, sa kay mahitabo kung ang imong communication, for example, nagpadakaw proposal, kanya walay feedback from your receiver, ikaw nga sender unsa kahay imong huna-hunaon nawa may feedback. So mo nang tayo mga imo na pud ikaw nga sender imo na pud i-follow up. So importante sa business communication or sa business correspondence ang feedback. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about types of communication employed in business organization. Okay, so there are several types of communication in our practical life. It depends on organizational pattern, parties of our organization involved, numbers of workers, pattern of activities, etc. The types of communications are the following. So it could be based on parties, kinsay parties, kinsay sender, kinsay receiver. Based on media, so unsa man nga medium or channel nga atong gamiton when we send the communication. And of course, we have others. Okay, so this is a structure, no, for communication based on parties. So it is divided into two also. It number one is internal communication. Okay, so meaning it is within the organization. And then we have external communication. So meaning padala kag communication outside sa imong business or outside sa imong organization. Okay, so in internal communication, we have what we call formal channels and we have what we call informal channels. So magsulti ta or maghisgot tag formal channels, it na ay structure sa communication. So vertical, okay, so ang vertical, unsan mang vertical? So na din ha ang upward and downward communication. So naisgutan na nato, I don't know if you still remember, in our purposive communication, we have what we call upward communication and we have downward communication. When we talk of upward communication, this comes from from subordinate up to its superior. Okay, upward man. From in downward communication, this is from superior down to its subordinate. Okay. And then ang horizontal, so meaning katong parehara og department. So vertical, rather walay same og level. For example, department. Walay lahi lang department but same ra ang level. Then we have diagonal or cross. So ang sa maning gimin ani. So other department, like for example in finance department, magpadao communication sa admin baka ha or sa audit department. So kana siya. And then ang katong informal channels, katong mga unsa man na grapevine, so katong mga chismis, which is mao ang dali mo abot, no, dali mo kalat bisag wa pa ipada, and that's mapun-an makuhaan ang communication. Now, in external communication, so we have government agencies. So for example, kita diri sa College of Maasin magpadata o correspondence sa mga LGU, okay, so request o assistance ba ka, or so, example is last September 9. So I personally send a correspondence, no, sa city health, requesting them to um, conduct disinfection process kay naatay katong nakasud nga unsa ni nakasud nga close contact sa COVID-19 patient. So nag-request tao kana nag-request sa city for them to conduct disinfection process. So usa na siya, no? Usa na ka communication, usa na ka correspondence that is external. So from our end, the College of Maasin, outside sa organization or outside sa CM, it is an example of external communication. Of course, customers, so kanang atong ginabuhat sa atong website, di ba, na atay mga announcements. So kana siya para na sa atong mga customers, clients and public, etc. So bisan pagdili sila atong customer, but because like for example in kato akong gi-mention ganina nga sa atong website, so bisan pagdili nato sila client, makabasa gyapon sila sa atong communications, atong mga announcements. Okay. Now, let's take note, class, that business or communication in business is a two-way process that follows the common communication process of sending and receiving messages. Okay, so bisan pa o communication messages sa business, still katong communication process mo gihapon ang gina-follow. However, business communication again differs on the medium of its uses because it uses paper, pen, typewriter, kung mapay typewriter ron, or computer to make the message tangible to the receiver. Okay, so let's talk about communication in organization. Okay. So an organization, according to Rosales et al., is comprised of people who are committed to a common goal and are ready to share information and resources in pursuit of a desired goal. Communication in organization is relaying messages or information between and among people inside and outside an organization. So this talks about external communication and internal communication. Okay. An organization has has internal as well as external communication. Messages within the organization are what we call the internal communication, whereas the messages exchanged with those outside the organization is what we call external communication. Okay, so let's talk about internal communication. So in internal communication, it could be written or oral and should be organized into a well-ordered network. So maotong naay structure. Okay, the purpose of internal communication is mainly to exchange information and to motivate staff, again, within the organization. External communication, this is an organization projects an image of self upon the public, no, through its communication and its conduct. The good administration and efficient management can build up a good credit standing or kanang it atong gitawag nga maayo ang image nato pakita sa public. Okay. So let's take note that there are several written documents needed to run an organization. Okay, so every single document has one or more of the three basic functions of organizational communication, which rather organizational writing, which is to inform, okay, second, to persuade, and number three, to promote goodwill. Okay, so mo na atong mga basic functions of communications. And same goes with organizational writing. Okay, so we have here a table, no, for internal documents produced in one organization. So document, no, if it is a transmittal, so what is the purpose or what is the description of that document? So it is a memo or a memorandum accompanying document telling why it's being forwarded to the receiver. So manang transmittal or cover letter. No, so unsa may purpose ana? Its purpose is to inform and to persuade the reader to read the document. And of course, it can also build image and goodwill. Okay, take note again that we are still talking about internal documents. Then we have monthly or quarterly report. So, unsa may description na document. So, it could be a report summarizing profitability, productivity, and problems during the period. And it is used to plan activity for the next month or quarter. So, unsa may purpose of that document? It is also to inform, to build image and goodwill. Of course, if the report is accurate, complete, and then the writer understands the company. Okay, another document is performance appraisal. So, what is the description of that document? It is an evaluation of an employee's performance with recommended areas for improvement or recommendation for promotion. What is the purpose? It is to inform and to persuade the employee to improve. Then we have another document, memo or memorandum of congratulations. No, so its description is to congratulate the employee who have won awards or who have been promoted or earned community recognition. What is the purpose for that document? It is to promote goodwill. Then we have external documents produced. Okay, so type of document, quotation. So, unsa man ang quotation? No, it is a letter giving price for a specific product, for example, a fabrication or service. What is the purpose? To inform, no, to inform the customer unsa man ang price or unsay quotation. And then, of course, to promote goodwill if the price is reasonable. Then we have claim and or adjustment letter. So this is a letter granting or denying customer request to be given credit for defective goods. So usahay kita magpadata og letter claim or adjust claim letter or adjustment letter. What is the purpose? To inform the company or the receiver that you want to request credit or imo ba kang iuli a certain product and then you want to have a refund. No? Okay, so its purpose is to inform and to promote goodwill as well. Then we have annual report. So this is a report to stockholders summarizing financial information for a year. And so may purpose, it is to inform and to persuade stockholders to retain stock and others to buy. It is also to build goodwill. Huh? Okay. Then we have thank you letter. Okay, so letters to suppliers, customers, or other people who have helped individuals or help the company. So its purpose is to promote goodwill. Now let's move on to formal and informal channels of communication. Okay, so formal channel of communication follows the usual pattern of an organization chart, where the superiors are classified from the subordinates through connecting the lines of communication to every member of the organization. That is the reason why a company or an organization should have an organizational chart. Okay, so naadjud na siya or organizational structure para ma-classify and ma-identify ang superior o ang subordinate. This will also help in communication. Okay, of course, if you are the sender, dapat kay baw ka kinsa imong padalhan, no? Then, informal channel of communication follows the unstructured channel of communication where lines and patterns of the organization are vague. So, unlike formal channel of communication, yun na ay organizational chart or organizational structure, kaning informal channel wala. No? This is sometimes referred to as grapevine because it usually relays more information than the formal communication through chismis or rumor mongering. Anang rason nga na ubang company nga magkagubot tungod aning informal channel of communication. Thank you. And I hope you learned something from this presentation. Now you can proceed with the reinforcement.